Okay, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. My voice is clear. Okay. صوت مظبوط. جنى، محمود، بيسان.
ايوه تمام.
صوت تمام. Okay. Thank you. So today, inshallah, we're gonna take the third lesson, national and global energy resources. We have two different types of energy resources, but before taking the different types, we're gonna start with what is the energy resources mean. Energy resources mean the main ways in which we use the Earth's energy resources are generating electricity. We are using the energy resources to generate electricity for heating and for transport or in transportation means. Most of our energy currently comes from fossil fuels like coal, oil, and natural gases. So before taking the different types of energy resources, we have to know what is the difference between reliability and environmental impact. So some energy resources are more reliable than others. Reliable energy resources means or are one that all available at all time, like the energy coming from the sun, predictable times and in sufficient quantities. So the reliable energy resources, the resources that are available at all time. Both renewable and non-renewable energy resources have some kind of environmental impact when we use them. So whatever the type of energy resource you use, both have the same or some environmental impact. So for now, we know what is the different type of energy resources. Non-renewable energy resources and renewable energy resources. Okay, we're gonna start with the renewable energy resources. Renewable energy resources, the resources that can replace at the same rate as they are used. So we are using some energy or some light that come from the sun, and at the same time, the sun every day produce the same amount of energy. So they will not run out. This is the renewable energy resources. For example, like the solar, tidal energy resources, waves, wind, geothermal, biofuel, and hydroelectric energies. All these kinds are renewable energy resources. Non-renewable energy resources not replaced as quickly as they are used. So if you have some fossil fuels, and if you use them a lot, after a certain amount of time, they're gonna finish. So the non-renewable energy resources not replaced as quickly as they are used will eventually run out, after sometimes run out. That's why a lot of energy, non-renewable energy resources run out because of the usage or a lot of usage of it. Like some countries will lose the leading of having the oil and natural gases after like 20 or 30 years old from now, because this is non-renewable energy resources. Ahmed saying there is no sound. You hearing me, guys? He's saying there is no.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ahmed, you have a problem. Maybe fix your change the setting of your microphone and your headset. Maybe there problem there. Okay, thank you. So now we're gonna take some examples of renewable energy resources. Okay, Ahmed, I answered you. I said the problem with you. All of other students are hearing me now. So resources, we have the first one, coal. Coal main uses generating electricity. The source of coal or oil or natural gases are extracted from underground. Oil are used to generating electricity. Oil are used also for transportation, for heating. Natural gas are using for generating electricity and heating. And some natural gas, some cars are moving with natural gas nowadays. Source, all of them, the coal, oil, natural gases are extracted from underground. The advantages of coal, oil, and natural gases: energy available to meet currently energy demands. All cars need oil to move or to work. A lot of factories and so on. Reliable supply can be controlled to meet demand. So far, it's the coal, oil, and natural gas are considered to be reliable, relatively cheap to extract and use. But we have disadvantages of these non-renewable energy resources. The first disadvantage will eventually run out after a certain amount of time. Release carbon dioxide when burned, one of the main causes of climate change. Number 3, release other pollution gases like sulfur dioxide, which cause acid rain. Oil spills in the ocean kill a lot of marine life. Marine life will be destroyed because of the spilling of oil on the ocean. Number 4, for non-renewable energy resources is nuclear fusion. Nuclear fusion, the main uses of nuclear fusion is to generate energy. Mining, the source of nuclear fusion, mining naturally occurring elements such as uranium and platinum. Advantages: no pollution gases or generating or greenhouse gases produced. So it's very clean energy if you compared with the coal, oil, and natural gas. Energy available to meet currently energy demands. Large amount of energy transferred from a very small amount of fuel. Reliable supply can be controlled to meet demand. But the disadvantages of nuclear fusion, nuclear energy is very dangerous energy. Produce nuclear waste, which is very dangerous, difficult, and expensive to dispose of, stored for centuries before it's safe to dispose it. If you have any nuclear waste, it takes centuries to dispose it. And if you know what happened in Japan, that some areas in Japan, in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, the two cities that bombed by nuclear bomb from USA in 1940s or 50, the land suffer until now from this nuclear waste. So there is no farm is there. The soil itself still suffer from the nuclear waste. So nuclear power plants are very expensive to build and run and to shut down. So this is the disadvantage of nuclear fusion. Nuclear is commonly confused as a renewable energy resource, and it doesn't release polluting gases, but it is not this case. So we're done with the non-renewable energy resources. So we're gonna go back to this. We need to know the difference or the definition of biofuel, carbon neutral, environmental impact, fossil fuel, geothermal, hydroelectric, non-renewable, reliability, and renewable natural or energy resources. Now we're gonna take the second part, the renewable energy resources. So we said the first one is going to be the solar energy. Solar energy, this is the main source of renewable energy resources. The solar energy, the main uses of solar energy is generating electricity and heating, source, sunlight transfer energy to some solar cells. So we can have the solar energy if we have solar cell built in the on the earth in some places where the sun light is available and the sunlight hit the solar cell, and the solar cell, the electrons start to move from the solar cell and generate electricity. Sunlight transferred energy to solar heating panels. There is another uses of or use of solar energy. So if you need to use solar energy in electricity, you have to build a solar cell to change the electric or the sunlight to electrical energy. If you need to use the solar energy as the heating or for heating, you have to build the solar panel and the sunlight or change the sun, the energy from the sunlight, convert from the light energy to the thermal energy. Advantage, I think you know what is the advantage of the solar energy. This can be used in remote places. The sun is available everywhere. Very cheap to run once installed. No pollution, greenhouse gases produced, no pollution or no greenhouse gas. The disadvantage, supply demand is on weather. So if we are like today in New York, our temperature is -15 and we don't have sun. So we cannot use the solar panel or solar heating panels or solar cell to generate electricity or heating. So it depends on the weather, expensive to pay and install, cannot supply large scale demand. So if you have solar panel above your house, you can have only electric energy for your building only. So it is very limited to the large scale demand. Another source of renewable energy resources is hydroelectric energy. The hydroelectric energy generating electricity, and hydro means water. It's coming from water. So hydroelectric energy means water flowing downhill, turns generators like in high dam in Egypt, Sadd al-Ali. Sadd al-Ali generating energy by using the hydroelectric energy resource, or by water flowing downhill turns the generator. The cost is very low running cost, no fuel costs, reliable, and supply can be controlled to meet demand. But the disadvantages is expensive to build hydroelectric dams. I think you heard about how many years the Sadd al-Ali take to build in Egypt. Flood a large area behind the dam, and I think too you heard about the flooding that happened because of the behind the dam, destroying habitats, the flooding destroying the habitats and resulting in greenhouse gases producing from rotting the vegetation. So the third type of renewable energy resources is gonna be tidal energy. Tidal energy, you know, between Earth and Sun, and Earth and Moon, we have. Give me 1 second, please. I need to write something. Okay, here is the Earth and here is the Moon. Earth and Moon has gravitational force between them. The gravitational force between Earth and Moon, the gravitational force will be very large to the area of the Earth close to the Moon than the area of the Earth away from the Moon, or the part of the Earth very close to the Moon has more gravitational force than the other part. And this make tidal force. And the tidal force make the ocean, the tidal ocean. So we can use this astronomical event to generate electricity. We're gonna know now. So the tidal energy generating electricity, and it's gonna be used by turbines on tidal barrages turned by waters as the tide come in and out. So if you have ocean and you have tidal force between Earth and Moon, and the water in the ocean comes in or out, you can build turbines here and use the movement of the water to generate electricity. Predictable supply, this is the advantages. Predictable supply, as there are always tides. We have tides every day. Can produce a large amount of electricity, no fuel costs, no pollution, greenhouse gases produced. So the disadvantages come from the tidal periods. Change marine habitat and can harm animals because you're gonna build the turbines in the ocean or along the coast. So it's gonna be change the marine habitat and also restrict access and can be dangerous for boats. Are expensive to build and maintain, cannot control supply. Supply varies depending on time of the month. So, you know, this is pure astronomy. The tidal effect is going to be different from the first day of the lunar month and the first week and on the full moon and on the new moon. So supply varies depending on the time of the month. So this is the third type of renewable energy resources. Number 4, wave energy. Wave energy generating electricity, floating generators powered by waves moving up and down. So you are using the wave to generate electricity. The cost here is low running cost, and this consider one of the advantage, no fuel cost, no pollution or greenhouse gas produced. But the disadvantages are floating generators change marine habitats and can harm animals, the same like the tidal barrages. Also restrict access and can dangerous for foods, the same like the tidal barrages, and are expensive, the same like the tidal barrages, and also cannot supply a large scale. So you are depending on the. Okay, Ahmed, I'm gonna answer your question. So the tidal barrages and floating generators have the same disadvantages and probably the same advantage, or mostly the same advantage. Ahmed asked me a question. He asked why Earth and Sun tidal doesn't exist. The distance between Earth and Moon. This is a good question. The distance between Earth and Moon is 0.002 the distance between Earth and the Sun. So the effect of tides between the Earth and the Sun is very, very small if you compare between the Earth and Moon. The distance between Earth and Moon is going to be 150 million kilometers. The distance between Earth and Moon is 1/100 this distance. So the gravitational force depend on the distance. Gravitational force depend on the distance. Tides depend on gravitational force, and gravitational force depend on the distance. So the distance between Earth and Moon is very small compared to the gravitational force between the moon and the sun. If you compare if you need to check the amount of tides between them, but the tides between Earth and moon has effect. Sorry, between Earth and sun has effect on Earth, but not that much like the moon and the sun, and the moon and the Earth system. And in some reference, we are considered they are at college when we calculating the tidal force by using mathematical equation. We are calculating the tidal force in Earth from the moon and also from the sun, whatever the amount of each of them. Whatever the amount, but we are calculating both of them. We are not neglect the tidal force from the sun. We are taking this in calculation, but the amount of tidal force from the moon is the main reason for the ocean tides and making the water move or moving in and out or floating in and out the ocean. So I wish I explained this in details for you before going to the water wind. Ahmed, you got it? Okay. Wind energy. We have renewable energy sources come from the wind, and it's used for generating electricity. And for sure, wind means using turbines turned by the wind, as you see in Netherlands turbines. So it's low running cost, no fuel cost, no pollution or greenhouse gas, the same like the wave energy, and the same advantage like the tidal force, and the same advantage like hydroelectric force, and some share some advantage like the solar energy. But the disadvantage here, the wind depends on the weather, so supply depends on the weather. Large amount of land needed to generate electricity for large scale demand. To build the turbines, you need large amount of land, can produce noise pollution for nearby residents. So you know the sound of turbines, it's very large, so it can produce noise pollution. The 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the sixth renewable energy resources is geothermal energy. Geothermal means energy reduced from radioactive activity or radioactive materials. So it used to generate electricity and heating. Radioactive substance deep within the earth transfer heat energy to the surface, share the same advantage like the above energy resources, but the disadvantage for geothermal energy, expensive to set up, only possible in few suitable locations around the world. Last renewable energy resource are biofuels, generating electricity and using are you using in transportation too. Fuel produced from living or recently living organisms, for example, plants and animal waste. The advantage of biofuels can be carbon neutral. Carbon neutral means the amount of carbon dioxide released when the fuel is burned is equal to the amount of carbon dioxide absorbed when the fuel is grown. Reliable and supply can be controlled to meet demand, but the biofuels are very expensive to produce. Growing biofuels require a lot of land and water that can be used for food production, can lead to deforestation. Forests are cleared for growing the biofuel crops. So this is the lesson for today. So I'm gonna ask you to tell me some definition. Biofuel, the last one. Who's gonna answer this? I have 7 participants. So who gonna start? Biofuel. Tell this is non-renewable or renewable energy resource, and then define it. And if you need to say something about the advantage and disadvantage, is gonna be good. We're gonna start, guys. Hello, hello. No, you have to participate. We're gonna start. Yes, go ahead, Ahmed.
Non-renewable.
You said renewable or biofuel. Biofuel is a non-renewable. Jana, 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 do you have answer? I heard the voice behind you, but you didn't talk.
There's no voice.
Yeah, now I'm hearing you. Can you answer, please?
Yeah, can you just repeat the question?
I need the definition of biofuels.
Biofuels. I already remember definitions like really well.
Okay,
Can you
tell
give
me
me a
what
minute? I'm
you
gonna
get from me
explain
about.
it.
Okay, explain the biofuels.
Okay, just 1 second. Let me.
Okay, Jana, I'm gonna be back for you. Please focus. Please focus with me. I'm gonna ask Roa.
The biofuels,
Yes,
we can generate electricity
yes, and
and
electricity.
maybe in the transport.
Yeah, they are using in transportation.
Mm,
Okay.
um,
What is the source of biofuels? Okay, thank you, Roa. Let me ask Bisan.
The resource is living organism like
Yes,
plants
yes. And another resource. We have another main resource.
and
Animal.
animal waste.
Yes, exactly. Thank you, Bisan. Let me go back to Jana. Jana, again, can you define what is the carbon neutral? Jana. Okay, Mahmoud. Mahmoud Abdel Hadi. Mahmoud. Mahmoud is not here. Ibrahim. Ibrahim is not here.
I'm here, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing you. I need the definition of carbon neutral.
It's fuel from with it's like using carbon dioxide and uh, and animal stuff.
Okay. Mahmoud Muhammad, can you define again the carbon neutral? No answer from Mahmoud. Okay. Guys, next time, if you are not focusing with me and if you are not participating, I'm not gonna let you in our lessons. So I'm giving you time to focus with me, not to open the Zoom and be away from the Zoom or doing something else. So for now, thank you for Bisan and Roa. And Jana, please fix your mic and be focusing with me. Thank you, Mahmoud, for trying. Mahmoud Muhammad is not here. I called him many times. Ibrahim, can you give me the second definition of environmental impact? If you are here, Mahmoud. Environmental impact. Mahmoud.
I'm not sure, sir.
Okay. So environmental impact, we said some energy resources are more reliable than others. Reliable energy resources are one that available at the all time. So the environmental impact, the impact of the renewable and non-renewable resource when we use them. So their impact on the environment as we use them. So renewable, you know the renewable, you know the geothermal. So we're gonna turn to this question. So I'm gonna read some of the question and answer, and then we're gonna turn to the lesson questions, general question. What is the non-renewable energy resources? Non-renewable energy resources. The non-renewable energy resources, the resources that will eventually run out is not replaced at the same rate at it is being used. What is the renewable energy resources? Opposite to the non-renewable energy resources. Will not run out, is being or can be replaced at the same rate at which it is used. What is the main renewable and non-renewable energy resources available on Earth? Renewable like the solar, tidal, wave, wind, geothermal, biofuel, and hydroelectric. Non-renewable is for the four known energy resources like coal, oil, gas, and nuclear. What is the main disadvantage of using the coal as energy resources? You're gonna go back to the table and answer this question. Okay. So we're gonna start one of the required practical. Brackets answering question on the required practical using the example below. You need to be able to apply your skills and knowledge to other practical too. The thermal insulators. You need to be able to measure the temperature change of a material that has been installed. Material type and thickness affect the temperature decreases in a given time, which is known as the rate of cooling. To be accurate, you need to take repeated measurements and ensure that the starting temperature are the same. So to test the thermal insulator and to measure the thermal change of material, you have to first take many measurements for the starting temperature to make sure they are the same. Second, use the same thickness if you are changing the type of insulator. So that you have to make the thickness fixed, constant. Use and heat-proof mat in all experiments. Take measurements over a long period of time. So this is the tips for the thermal insulator and how to measure the temperature change. We're gonna have now a work example. Students use two different types of foam to insulate a can of water. Here are their data. No insulation, starting temperature is 85 Celsius and final temperature is 52. Foam 1, starting temperature is 86 and final temperature is 71. So imagine the difference between non-foam and the type 1 of foam. Foam 2, starting temperature is 87 and final temperature is 67 Celsius. So the temperature change for the first case is 85 minus 52 is 33 Celsius. Temperature change for the second, for the first foam or the second case is going to be 86 minus 71 is 15. Temperature change for the third experiment or by using the foam 2 is going to be 20 Celsius. So which one is the best insulator? Which one is the best insulator? Best insulator means the one who or the one that reduce the temperature to the minimum amount. Which one is the best insulator? For sure is not number one. Number one is no insulation. So if you look to the foam 1 and foam 2, which one you think the best insulator? Bisan? Can you answer?
It's foam 2.
Foam 2. Foam 2, you have 87 minus 67 is 20 Celsius, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Ro'a? You have
Maybe it's foam 1.
why foam 1?
It's less
Best,
than 20.
yeah, best insulator, Bisan, is the one the temperature decreases to the smallest amount. So the smallest amount is 15. So the foam 1 is the best insulator.